I met Ayrton, I think, in 1982-83 when he was racing in Formula Ford in Denmark. One of the principals in McLaren at that time was a man called Crichton Brown. And Crichton had raced, and he was a partner in the business with Ron Dennis and John Barnard. And when Ayrton came over, there was a sort of a kind of synergy, friendship. So that was the first time I met him.
Here is Ayrton Senna across the line, and it is victory for the Brazilian.
Out goes the checkered flag, and Senna has won.
There was a race at Nürburgring for the opening of the current Nürburgring circuit. Mercedes-Benz had laid on, I think, 20 of their 190 2.3 16-valve. It was a one-make race, and it was for world champions, Formula One winners, and this kid called Senna went there with the intent of winning that race because he saw it as being a statement that was announcing him as really a fantastic future world champion. And he won the race, but he was leaping over the curbs. I mean, at Nürburgring, there's quite aggressive curbs. He was bouncing over them. Anyway, in 85, I was driving in the European Grand Prix at Brands Hatch. I'd finished my qualifying, was coming in. Around the back of Brands Hatch, there's a corner of Westfield Bend, down the hill, Dingledale, up into Dingledale corner. And I checked my mirrors. I went into the corner. I saw this Lotus yellow helmet, and it was just mind-blowing. The speed Senna was carrying, he's going to crash for sure. But it looked as if he was totally out of control, but at the same time, completely in control. It made me realize that I was no longer able to drive as a 25-year-old driver was doing. He seemed to have three hands, three legs. He was blipping the throttle. He was left foot braking, down the gears, and down, up, gone. It was so fast. By the time I got out of Dingledale corner, he had already gone through Stirling's other side. And I walked past the Lotus team afterwards, said, I tell you what, Senna was on a fast lap then, wasn't he? Oh yes, we know that. He set pole position time. Sensational. And then a few years later, I was in Austria with Willy Dungal, who was the trainer that Nicky used, and Ayrton was there as well. So one day we were out bicycling in the countryside, and there was rumours that he was going to go to McLaren, but there was no confirmation. And he said, John, and I can't do a Brazilian accent, tell me, McLaren, what sort of team? Everything about the team, the way Ron Dennis says, his vision, the design of the cars, the reliability, everything was just very, very special. If I was you, little, do it gently. Get in, feel where your strengths are, where Alain's strengths are. And immediately he said, no, I'm going to go to McLaren. I'm going to change the landscape of what it is to be a McLaren driver. And that is essentially what we saw in 1998 between the battle of Alain and Ayrton. Alain is a fantastic driver, but Ayrton was a much more combative, aggressive style of driving. Alain was always, you never thought he was going quickly. But watching Ayrton, you knew he was going quickly because it was so visual, so audible. What they did in 1998 and even in 1999 in the same car, very difficult to manage. To be a witness to it was a privilege. It brought out both the best and the worst in both competitors. And sometimes there were situations, particularly in Japan, where things were avoidable, put it that way. But that was the intensity of the battle between two outstanding Formula One world champions. Alain felt that Honda looked upon Ayrton as a samurai, somebody who would put everything on the line for the glory. But anyway, Alain won 4 world championships in his career. Ayrton won 3. He went to Williams with the belief he could win another 2 or 3 world championships. At this time, Alain had retired from Formula One. 2 unbelievable competitors. Chalk, cheese. Really, really aggressive competition. History.